Well, I think we are all good to get started, so let's begin today with 3 easy improv ideas inspired by this beautiful music from Forest Gump. Well, hi there, I'm Kylie and I love to share easy tips to inspire you to learn the love of music here on piano. So join me today and we're going to pull apart this Forest Gump theme called the Feather Theme by Alan Silvestri. And as we pull apart some of the ideas, let's look at why it's beautiful and what makes it have really easy improv tips that we can learn. If you enjoy today's content, then please consider subscribing, and a thumbs up is always the best compliment. Let's jump straight into looking at the chords for this piece and see what happens down here in the left hand, particularly for this song. So let's go up onto our A's. Originally the piece is written quite high in the opening, which is gorgeous, but the piano tuner is only able to come next week, so we're going to keep it down. So we have an A position, so A and E are the main notes that Alan Silvestri grabs from this A chord. So he sort of vamps back and forwards, and then he starts outlining an A chord in the right hand. So A, C sharp and E then become the basis for some of the notes that he uses. The next chord then, if we keep looking at the left hand, so we have the A and the E, then he steps to the A and the F sharp, and that's actually suggesting a D chord there that he outlines with the other notes also. So we have the D chord, so back to the A chord, the A and the E, and then the A and the F sharp. Then he steps to a minor, so a gloomy minor would be a 2 chord of the A, which is a B, D and F sharp. And once again, he just outlines with the top and the bottom note of the chord, the B and the F sharp. Then we jump over to the G sharp and the E, and that's all outlining an E chord there, G sharp E, back to the A pattern, the A and the E there. So as well as the chords being really close and underhand, which also makes it sound very beautiful, smooth, and just very close steps for our ear to grab a hold of there, it would sound quite different if you did this kind of a thing by going the A, and a big jump to the D, then the B minor, the E, the A, which makes it sound quite jumpy there for our ear to hear. So let's just outline the pattern one more time with those chord notes, so A and E, and he just vamps the thumb there. Then to the A and F sharp, and again, B, then the G sharp, to the E there, back to the A, which sets up beautifully the whole opening for this feather theme. Our next thing that we can take notice of, which I did start to introduce there for you to hear, is the chords aren't just held or played on the beat. He actually plays around with some on beats and off beats there. So when we have offbeat music, that's often called syncopation. So all of these little interruptions that happen with the beat can help to give it a really interesting lilt, and also to give it some interest. If we just play everything on the beat that's expected, it doesn't kind of ever catch us by surprise. So the counting that you could build in with an improvisation, or as he does in this song, is to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on the off beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to the B, 2 and 3 and 4, just one of those G sharp, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A. Now we've got 3 main points that we can grab from this feather theme, but I actually did think of another bonus point, so look out for that at the end and tell me what you think. The third step that we can look at then is limiting our notes that we want to use. So in our left hand we have just the 2 notes suggesting the different chord changes. So if we look over to the right hand, we can see that Alan uses different melody notes that are steps, skips back to the chord. So we can see the chord there is an A, C sharp, E, A, full A chord. So we can use notes that are stepping between those or skipping between the chord notes, and then he skips or leaps all the way up to the top A there. So let's have a little listen to that bit. So we can see the stepping, skip back to the chord, leap to the chord, all around those A notes that all belong there. Our next chord goes to outline our D pattern. So we have our D, E, F sharp there in the right hand. Left hand is on your A and your F sharp. Then we step to our B minor with our B and F sharp notes in the left. The right hand does the same, 3 little notes again, together with your B. Then we change to our E chord down the bottom. And you can see there our B, our G sharp and E that we come down with outline that E chord once again. It's so pretty. So on all those off beats, the hands come together. And then we have the similar sort of idea as the start with the stepping. Same, and then leap up to the matching chord note there in the right hand. And at the end of this video, we will look at creating our own patterns from all of these inspirations that we can gather. So for our last bonus idea, let's have a look at how Alan Silvestri repeats different ideas. So just playing it a few times there that you've heard, you can hear that this is kind of a little main motif that he creates from the very opening. Then up the chord leaps, and then to the D pattern. Okay, so he uses the same motive again, but then a little bit of space. So note that as well. And then onto our B minor, same little motive, exactly the same notes again. Then he extends it with that E idea, so down our E chords, but then returns again with the last little motive repeat, just going to the A there. And once again, it kind of rings out that one and holds on the mood, which is really beautiful. Let me know if you like this piece as much as I do in the comments as well. It's so beautiful. Well, let's play with some of these ideas now to create our own improv and to look at how we can choose some chords, create different rhythms to play off each other, limit the amount of notes that we use, and how we can also leave some space there, leave a bit of air time, just to have a little moment and to enjoy. Let's jump into it and have a go. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you can grab some new ideas from that. I'll link some other improv videos if you've missed any of these, and have a great week with some more music making. See you next Thursday. Ta-da.